to Every Woman Has a Story on WEBN. My name is Onyeneho, and today on our show we have Valerie Anselme, a young photographer making a social impact with her photography. Hi, Valerie.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yes, I'm great. But this is all about you. So I want to, talk a little bit. I want you to talk a little bit more about yourself today.
Okay.
Try to get the real you. Yes.
Okay. I am a Boston native photographer. Born and raised in Boston, of Haitian descent. So both of my parents are Haitian. Consider myself full Haitian. I have been doing photography for about 2 years or so. Started out when I started in college, and now it's blossomed to this. So yeah.
Yes. So you are the CEO and founder of of the Flaw Beauty Project. And when I was looking at your project, I saw a quote that was on every page, and it said, "The absence of flaw in beauty is itself a flaw," by Havelock Ellis. So I want you to tell me a little bit more about that quote and why it resonated with you when you were starting this Flaw Beauty Project. Tell us a little bit more about this project.
I really like the quote because it really shows that everything has a flaw, whether you are beautiful or not, or a lot of things have flaws in it, and I like how it says that, because a lot of, in our society, we try to be perfect in a lot of times in a physical sense. So I basically like that quote because I really like that quote because it really points out the fact that even though, it's okay, not everyone is perfect, basically. That's what it goes into saying.
When you were doing this project, was it something that you personally were going through that made you want to create such project? Because I know when people venture out and do projects such as this, they're personally going through something, or they see someone going through it. So were you going through something, or did you see someone going through this that made you say, I want to, do photography, I want to create this Flaw Beauty Project?
Yes and no.
Yeah.
I'll start out with the no. The no, because when I started out the project, because my main focus for me with photography, with whatever I do, I say I always want to give back to the community. And the first community that I would want to give back to is the Haitian community. So I've always had when I started out photography, I always wanted to write or make a photo book, which proceeds would go to or organization or hospital in Haiti and such. So that was my first thing. Second thing, when I started out with trying to figure out what project I was going to do it on, I was first going to do it on natural hair because I love natural hair. But after seeing that it was too regular of a topic, so there's a photographer that I love. His name is Richard Avedon, and he has a lot of photos that were unconventional, and they were different, and because they were so different, they were moving. They said something. Yeah. A lot of them told a story. So from there, I was like, okay, if I'm going to do a photo project, I want to do something that will captivate people, that will tell a story. So I ended up thinking of like different things, and this was the one that I ended up saying. I was like, oh, people's flaws. People don't usually, when people talk about their flaws, they're like, my flaw. So this was, so I was like, I want to do that and see where it goes from there. See, help people to embrace who they are. Because me, as a child and as I was growing up, I really didn't have that much confidence in myself. Everybody has flaws, but my flaws, I really didn't like them. So now that I have enough, I have a lot of confidence in myself. This project, I would like for it to boost another person up and find their confidence, do their flaw. Yeah.
So like, how far do you see this project going? I know you've been doing this for a couple of years, and with this particular type of issue, it's not only that we see it here in this country. it's in different versions outside of this country as well. So how far do you see this project going?
When I initially started the project, because I just wanted to make a book out of it, I really didn't expect for it to, like, I knew it was a very positive project and that it would get some attention, but I didn't think it would like go that big and far. So I think it'll, I don't know, it depends, I don't know. I think it'll get pretty far because it is a topic that is very prevalent in our community and everywhere else. So
for this project, of course you did. Of course you did. Right. You know, so for this project, and I'm sure people who want to start this particular type of project would like to learn from somebody like you. You know, how was your starting process? How did you first get started? Because, you know, some people might get in the hump of things in the beginning and just didn't know who to talk to, what resources to, you know, to use. So how was the starting process for you, your challenges? You know?
My starting process, I started in my sister's bedroom, sitting on her bed and trying to, I basically made a line of, because I was like, if I'm going to do this project, I have to be as thorough as possible. So I wrote down the objective, you know, who the audience is going to target, what would be the outcome of the project. I did a lot of research. Google is my best friend. Yeah. Of people that have done similar projects. I actually used Kickstarter to see, you know, different photo projects that people have done, and kind of look through that to, you know, break down on how I want the photo project to go. And then there's finding a studio, social media, like putting it out there, model release forms, which is so important. So that, so that somewhat of my breakdown a little bit. So. And
how was the turnout? You know, the participation. How were you able to get people to, you know, jump on board on this movement?
Because the topic is tricky or sensitive, I never really I never went up to somebody one-on-one and was like, hey, I have a project about flaws. Would you like to be a part of it? Like, for me, I thought it was going to be kind of awkward because I know people would be like, so you think I have a flaw? You think, so I'm flawful. Is that what you're saying? So I put it up. Social media blogs and such to see, you know, people would, you know, respond to it. So I kind of let people come to me. I put it out there, but I let people come to me because I don't want to. I didn't know of any other way to ask people without offending them.
Didn't want to offend anybody.
Exactly.
I understand.
So yeah.
Yes. So, what is your favorite testimonial from, you know, your 2 years of experience? Well, I already have my favorite testimonial. My favorite testimonial was the childhood cancer survivor.
Yeah.
With the hip deformity, I believe, and she had the surgery on her thighs and her stomach. Now that was the infamous picture. So that was my favorite one because I don't know how I would go around in public and show my scars.
Exactly.
So what was your favorite?
I really like all of them.
Yeah.
There's a couple that really stood out to me. Can I give two?
Oh, yeah, you can give two. Yes.
There's one of my friends who she has it's on the blog, but she was diagnosed with bipolar, and she, because of the insecurities and such that she ended up using cutting herself as a form of release of pain for her, which it was the fact that she did the project herself, because when she emailed me and such, I was really excited, but I wanted to make sure that she was completely comfortable with you know, having that flaw. And everything, the description of it, and it was captivating because for her, she said it's a way for her to liberate herself and kind of step over it, which I love that aspect of it. That one stood out to me, and another was one of my other friends, which through her poem, she was like herself. She herself altogether is a flaw. The poem that she wrote for it was basically about kind of like physical abuse that she was going through and stuff. Basically with the person telling her, not only physical, but it was emotional abuse with the person telling her, you know, you're not good enough, and such. So her flaw herself was her, you know, herself as a whole, which usually people just pinpoint one or two parts, but that was captivating for me. It was,
When I know the next time around, or whoever comes up or steps up, it's going to be even better. Yeah. So I wanted to ask you a question, a very vivid question, very general question. You know, how do you feel media is portrayed? Beauty. How is beauty portrayed in the media to you?
Very. What's the word I'm trying to look for? I'm really trying. Sorry, I forgot the word that I was going to use. But with media, there's too much focus on perfection. Yes, you know, it's great to have, you know, great skin and everything, but it comes to a point where girls are looking at themselves and it's like, I'm not good enough because I don't look like that girl in the video. I don't look like that model. I don't look like that actress. When really, you know, it's media. They make everything look. They edit everything and stuff. Oh yeah, there's a lot of airbrush.
Yes.
And you know, I remember there was an article that was put out on a Victoria's Secret model that I guess she had, I don't know if it was like rolls or something, and they edited it out or something. But you know, she's skinny, so it wasn't anything serious, but they edited it out and people had like an outrage. And the example that what Victoria's Secret said after, I believe, was that they're like, it's just kind of like a fantasy that they're trying to put out there, like a storyline, but it's, you know, it's not that they're trying to portray reality. Because, you know, I love fashion, so I see both sides of it, but at the same time, it's like there has to be a way to step out and say, you know, yes, we have these images where these girls look perfect, but they're not really perfect. Yeah. So I know with Tyra Banks, she's trying to do something like that, where she's like flawful, or I forgot
all her words.
Yeah, exactly. Where she's trying to have people embrace themselves, which I love. So there are some aspects of the media where they're trying to, you know, open that up to children to know, you know, to society to know that, you know, you have your flaws. But mostly, a lot of people are seeing what's perfection, quote unquote.
So now I'm gonna, you know, now that you talk about that and confidence, you know, how crucial is it for people to be confident in themselves, or, you know, at least to spend time with themselves, get to know themselves? Because, you know, a lot of people these days, you know, they don't love themselves enough, and they look for, you know, they look for ways to get that attention or that love, and it just never works out. Yeah,
it's so crucial, crucial in like almost every aspect of life, because it comes into relationships, comes into your workplace. Like, if you're not confident in yourself, it shows. It shows. So it's very crucial. Yeah.
And so I wanted to talk more about celebrities, you know, and their role in it. You know, do you feel like they're doing enough to, you know, about the movement, about the being, you know, you have flaws. You know, do you feel like they're doing enough to present that, to show that? We have people like Viola Davis, for example, who was at the Oscars with her hair, you know, natural. You know, you don't see that because, you know, she was about to wear a wig that day. You know, and you have people like Kelly Ripa, the TV host, who was blatantly saying, hey, I'm a 32A and I'm proud. You know, I'm not gonna get breast, you know, breast implants because, you know, I already went through nursing three kids. You know, I don't want to go through any more. Like, she's good. You know, do you feel like there's, you know, more people doing that out there? What role do you feel like celebrities are you know, portraying in terms of beauty?
I feel like some of them are like really stepping out there and being like, hey, I'm not that perfect. So I feel like there are some that are, and then there are some that are not.
Yes.
that are basically, and it goes with their environment. I forgot her name. She had a reality show. My goodness, but she completely did like a 180 on how she looked, like completely revamped herself. And I believe the reason why she did it was because, you know, she's in Hollywood, so she sees all these women that appear beautiful and she wanted to look like them. So she did, you know, she completely changed how she looked. So much to the fact that when she went home, her mother was appalled and saddened by it as well. Because it's like, I basically made you, or I mean, you know, you came from me and you basically, you don't like how yourself was not good enough.
Yeah.
So you decided to change yourself altogether. That saddened the mother. And it's like, some are, I feel like I don't know, there's some that are, some that aren't, and I feel like there's, but I like the fact that it's starting to grow, like more that people are embracing who they are, embracing who they are.
That's very good. I agree. You know, I would also like to talk about, you know, the financial aspects of running a project like this. Is it easy to run something like this? Does it take a financial toll on you? I recently saw a YouTube video of yours. You know, though it was short, it was straight to the point. You know, covering the very basis of what it needs to run something like this. Can you explain more about that?
Yeah, you have to have the equipment. It honestly depends on how you want your project to go. For me, I wanted the project to only be in a studio setting. So there's a studio that I'm basically paying for each month for it. There's that. There's equipment that, I mean, I have some of the equipment already, but that's still added to it. And then, you know, if I need, well, didn't really need too much of props, but it depends on how you or what you're looking for in the project. For me, the most, yeah, so it does take some cost, financial cost to do it. And then with publishing the book and printing out the book, that's additional cost as well for that. So there's a financial
And
toll.
do you have a team that works with you to do this? Because I can't imagine the stress that you go under doing this particular type of project. So, like, do you have people who are on board and like working with you to achieve your goal?
Yes and no. I don't have like a set team, really. I take the photos and I edit the photos myself. I'm working on the book myself, but really it's basically, I would say it's really my fault because I don't really ask people, and that comes with a little bit of me being timid. I just don't ask. I don't seem timid, but
You're timid.
I don't seem timid, but I don't like asking people for favors.
Yeah.
I think it's a pride thing. I don't know. But I don't have like a set team, but I do have like my siblings that do help me out. I have friends that sometimes help me out in the studio, you know, with putting things up and bringing things down. So I don't have like a set team, but I have people there that are like willing to help if needed.
Hopefully it grows for you, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully.
You know, but I understand that, you know, some of the proceeds that you raise goes towards a hospital. Speak more about that hospital and why it's important to you.
The hospital that the proceeds are going to are going to the hospital, in an Adventist hospital in Haiti. It's called Hôpital Adventiste d'Haïti. With my family, we call it Dikini. This hospital is basically hits home because my parents used to work there before they came to America. That's where my parents met each other. And my older sister was born there as well. So I have a lot of connections and ties with the hospital. So, yeah.
And speak more about the earthquake in 2010. Haiti was shattered by the earthquake. Do you have a personal connection with what happened back there that resonates with you in relation to this project?
Yes. Of course, because most of my family lives in Haiti, or is a good amount of my family that lives in Haiti. So when the earthquake happened, Well, it happened on my birthday, one. So it was shocking, and it was sad to see what was happening to my country. I just wanted to like rush down there,
Yeah,
and help any way that I can. But it was, yeah, it was shocking. It wasn't pleasant too. Yeah.
and you recently went back there.
I did.
Yes. How was your experience?
I went last week. It was pretty nice. It was pretty nice. Going, you know, through the hospital and going in, because we have pictures of my parents when they were in the hospital. So seeing the, you know, remembering the photos from that, and then going there and actually seeing the room, it was actually pretty cool. And it was a good experience all together.
So I know you weren't there in 2010 when it happened, but were you were able to see, you know, the effect of what the earthquake did. How is it now that you went back there recently? Have there been significant changes in the country? How are the people? How are the infrastructure? Like, how are things? How is the hospital?
The hospital, okay, well, let's start with the country itself. Of course, I wasn't there. All I could say is what I see from when I went there, because I wasn't there before the earthquake happened. I wasn't there when the earthquake happened. So all I see is what's in the, you know, in the media. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
So when I went there, when I left from the airport, and we were driving through to get to the hospital. Yeah. There were places that were built up. They have buildings that they've rebuilt and everything, but there were some sections where there were tents, and there were makeshift homes where it was like metal and like tree branches and plastic or pieces of tents to make homes and such like that, which I did not like, which of course, like, it saddened me. But then when we were arriving more closer to where we were, you know, there was much more, you know, buildings and such. The people down there, for me, because I live in a Haitian community, it was like I was at home. You know, of course, it didn't look exactly like home, but it was, for me, it was kind of, I was like, oh, yay. Yeah, and then the hospital itself has a very strong structure. So it was not affected that much by the earthquake in Haiti. So the person that built the hospital made it in a way that it was like buildings that were built in California. Yeah. So it basically, when the earthquake happened, the only effect that it had was a little crack in the wall inside the building. Wow. So it was, it's a
strong building.
Yeah, exactly. So the hospital played a major role after the earthquake. So
it's very good. How many people does it service usually? Do you think?
Not too sure. It's a good amount of people there. Yeah.
From what you saw when you were there.
From what I saw, an estimate. I don't know how to. I don't want to make a bad estimate. Yeah. Maybe 100 or so. Not per day, because every other day is different. At least from when I was there, how they ran it was a little different because they were volunteers. But probably hundreds, maybe, or 100 or so people a week or so. I'm not too sure. I can't give I don't want to give an accurate estimate, but yeah.
Okay. Well, of course you're a good photographer. Great, because I've seen your work and it's awesome. You also have goals of being a doctor.
Yes.
Now, when I look at you, I see fashion. I see all these things, but I can't catch a doctor. Where did the doctor come from?
Ever since I was younger, I wanted to be a doctor. Yeah. I was in the medical field, like surrounded around with my parents. So I just love helping people. Yeah. And I felt like one of the best ways that I could help people, one of the ways that I think is best to help people, is through the medical field. So going to the hospital in Haiti last week was like a 2-part mission in a way, because I was there with the doctors when they were operating on patients and such as that. So I was like, oh my goodness, this is so amazing. So, but I'm going everything by God's will. So if being a doctor is what God has planned for me, then so be it. But that's one of the main focuses that I've had in my life, that I want to be a doctor.
Yes. Yeah. And do you plan to take your work here, do domestic work, or do you really see yourself going internationally and doing service?
Oh, I want to go international.
I don't blame you.
Like that's my thing. Like I love traveling.
Yeah.
And anytime I see stories like on National Geographic and such with going to other countries, I love seeing it. Of course, like actually the process of doing it is not easy at all. At all.
Yes.
But I would at least want to experience and see if that's something that I could actually do. But I would love to do it if I could.
I agree. How do you feel that you're changing the perception of beauty with the Flaw Beauty Project?
I think it's pretty cool. It's humbling in a way.
Do you feel that, you know, your main mission is to affect the masses, or do you feel like, you know, even though you're working hard to do this big project and you affect one, will it matter to you that, you know, either whether you affect one or you affect, you know, hundreds? Which is your main goal, do you see?
Somewhat both.
Yeah,
I would, if it could affect one person, that's great. Like I wanted to at least affect one person, because from that one person being affected, growing their confidence and seeing their beauty, it's kind of contagious, or hopefully. But I would also love for it to also spread out into other places so that they could captivate, and so more people can embrace their beauty and embrace who they are, flaws and all. So, yeah.
What advice would you give to someone who is currently going through what many of these women are going through in your project? What would you tell them? Because many people will look and they would ask me, you said, you know, Laura, you know, do I look fat? Or, hey, do I look like this? Or, you know, try to feed them the compliments, but they themselves, they don't really feel it, so there's no effect. It's like a deflect. It's like a deflect.
Yeah.
You know, what do you want to tell people who are struggling with this?
You really have to understand and know your worth. A lot of people, they don't know their worth, and because of that you know, they end up having self-conscious issues and such. But it's so important to know your worth. Everybody has their beauty, inside and out, and it's really, you know, you could ask people, you know, do I look pretty and such like that, but it's really in yourself. Like, you have to find it in yourself to do that. So.
I hear this thing all the time where it's easier said than done.
Yeah, it is easier said than done, because it's honestly a process. For me, you know, I didn't, again, like, people would tell me, oh, you're, you know, you're pretty and all that stuff. And when I was younger, I would be like, I don't know what you're looking at. So, you know, and such. So, but I ended up really realizing, you know, I'm a child of God. I'm just not anybody. I have worth in this world, and I started building my confidence through that. So, so it's just, yeah.
What advice would you want to tell people for those who want to venture off and do, you know, business, do a business venture such as this? You know, what advice would you have to give? Because obviously you're successful, you're doing quite well for yourself. So other people are going to look at you and say, hey, how does she do that? I want to know.
Prayer.
Yes.
Dedication. Time. Time management. And time management is something that I'm still working on. And research. You want to pray on it, always, to make sure that this is what God has for your life. You have to be fully dedicated And you have to set time apart from it to actually make sure that, you know, you work through it. And time management is so key, because if you don't have it, it will screw you over. Trust. Lord. But, yeah, so I mean, those are like main points that I would give.
And how long have you been working on this specific project? Because I know your book is coming out, the book is coming out, but how long has it taken you to start? And, you know, when do you see it finishing?
I started it, the idea came probably like late January. So I started it around February. I think I took the first photos in February. So it's been a couple of months, 10 months maybe, around?
Yeah.
Yeah, 10 months. So I was actually hoping to finish the project by the end of this month. But after looking through the project, I want to open it more. I think I just need to give it more time than what I've been giving it. I feel like there needs to be more diversity in the photos, and I wanted to open out to a wider range of people. So
when you say diversity,
yeah,
people automatically think, probably, she's talking about race, she's talking about color. Like, what do you mean?
No, I like male, female, older generations, younger generation. Well, younger. I feel like it'd more of, you know, work for older, but it's not only just race. Like, I wanted to, you know, just branch out to more people, because I mostly have females that are around my age, that are black. Black. I have like one Caucasian and one of my other friends were Spanish, but I need more diversity in it altogether, not only race, but with age and gender, because I probably have like one male that did it. So I'm looking for, I'm gonna have to open or push it out back more.
Now for the males, see, when it comes to flaws, you know, women, we have our tendencies that we.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God, yeah, we have a whole list, a long list.
There it
is. But then, man, now you're talking about it and you only had one. Like, how is it for you? Like, how are men coming out? I mean, it doesn't really sound right, but do they come out? Like, I know they're macho.
Not really. Not really at all. I don't really have that. Maybe it's because I'm not asking them directly. But I remember I was talking to one of my friends. He's kind of like a brother to me. Yeah. And he's just like, it's gonna be hard for you to find a guy, because, you know, guys are more like, if they have low confidence, they don't want to let you know. Yeah. You're not gonna know that. They will fake it till they make it. Yeah. So I feel like not a lot of guys would step out, or at least I don't think so. Yeah. You guys could prove me wrong, but at least I don't think there's a lot of guys that would step out, because, you know, they're like, I got my flaws, but you don't need to know that. Yeah. Because I'm super, you know, macho.
Certainly, I hope that you know, have a whole heap of men.
Yeah, come out. Walking after me like, hey, I got a flaw. Yeah.
So give us like some insight about what goes on in the studio of Anselme. What goes on?
The studio, like the process of taking the photos with the people at the Flaw?
Yeah, like what goes on in your studio? Like, what's the process? Just give us a brief insight about what's going on for those who, you know.
Okay. Well, I have my backdrop that I would have to roll out. Yeah. Then I have to set up the lights. So I have them set up, and then I have the subject. I also. Well, before I was using 2 different lights, now I just use one lighting, because I like how the photos come with that. And then I try to get the person's personality, you know, out of the person to show in the photos. Yeah. So with people that I'm already comfortable with, or my friends that's done the photos, it was easier to have them, you know, just come out and do the photos and laugh and such like that. But when it comes with somebody that I've just met,
it's more serious.
Yeah, it's more serious. But I try to still have like fun conversation and make them laugh and such, because I just don't want to be like, okay, we're gonna take your picture every fall and that's it.
Yeah.
But I try to bring out, because I'm like, I want it to show your personality. With photos that I take, I love to capture people's personalities and such. So yeah, so I guess that's what somewhat happens in the studio. Oh, and I have music.
Oh, that's
I
nice.
love music. So
I do too.
I always have playing. Yeah, so that's, yeah.
So I would like to ask you one more thing. Where can people find you? You know, not, you know, find you
At my home.
at your home, but, you know, let people know, you know, your information if they want to participate in this movement. It's going to grow. I know it's going to grow. You know, let us know.
I have, wow. Okay, so I have a blog for the project itself. It's flawedbeautyproject.wordpress.com.
Yeah.
You'll find it on my website. It's the first thing that actually shows up on my website, which is anselmephotography.com. You'll find me on Twitter, Anselme Photo, and you'll find me on Facebook. I have a Facebook, which is Anselme Photography. It's a like page. And then I have a funding to help fund for my project. It's through Indiegogo.
Yeah.
So it helps with like the funding with the project and stuff, because it's a financial burden. It's
Yeah.
great. So it's so with that, you just go to Indiegogo.com and then you'll find it under Flawed Beauty Project. So, yeah.
Thank you so much, Valerie. Thank you for watching Every Woman Has a Story on WEBN. We have been talking with Valerie Anselme. If you would like to be a guest on our show or know anyone who would like to tell their story, please email us at ewhastory@gmail.com. I am Laura Onyeneho.